And we are on YouTube. What it do, man? How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and a wonderful start to our new week. Guys, you guys know I'm hyped. You guys know I won today. Nice little banger trade. Now, I did have to move this a little bit. Hold on. Today, I was able to profit off of 74.5 handles shorting NASDAQ today. Coming into today's video, we are going to be breaking down why exactly I pressed the button today in regarding shorts to our daily power of 3. I actually traded 30-minute power of 3 on a lower time frame scale. But guys, I hope you guys made some money today. We're going to be covering today's recap on top of the fact that we're going to be breaking it down from highest time frame to lowest time frame as always. Breaking down the full reasoning on why I clicked the button today. Now, before we come into the live replay of my trade with the buttons, and so you guys can all see for you pocket watch and ass, coming into today, if you guys aren't already part of Collectors Club, my 100% free Discord server, that link will be in the description. But for my private students, I gave a inner collector pre-market outlook where I talked about what side of the market was I looking for. Coming into today, it looked more like an accumulation resistance day. ES and YM were in a premium. NQ we failed to put in any DC and cracking correlation underneath True Day and any cracking correlation underneath our weekly opening price. For that reasoning, I wanted to see a possible target against our previous day low or our previous session low. Now, in regards to today, you guys can see that I was fucking correct. As always. And Snowski's the GOAT. Because I'm always right. So, coming down, before we break this down with a full high time frame to lower time frame breakdown, let's jump into the live replay where you guys can see my entire execution and, well, what was I looking for in regards to everything. So, I'll meet you guys after that. Alright, and we are back. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that recording. You guys saw why I pressed the button, where I pressed the button, and how much I closed it for. But coming into today, let's break this down. I stated in my pre-market outlook that I am looking for targets against previous day low and previous session low. Now, in regards to why exactly was I looking for targets against those draws on price was simply for the, well, anticipation of power of 3. Understanding I personally use and teach QT, power of 3, MMXM, well, technically QT and smart money concepts. Now, around these concepts, well, they're very correlated in multiple ways. One of those ways being that, well, in regards to power of 3, aligns with QT. And in what way does this align is the fact that any given power of 3, whether that's intraday or higher time frame, understanding their fractal, they will always be, well, technically validated during the manipulation phase with a given cracking correlation. Cracking correlations are SMTs or any quarterly theory cracking correlation. Any QT format I do not specifically teach. You guys can learn it out there. Now, I do teach it in my inner private mentorship students, but that's off the charts right now. Coming into today's video, as I was looking for a bias today, we had our previous day low and we had our previous session low coming into morning open. Now, why was I looking for a draw towards these is the fact that, okay, if we're expecting higher prices from our high time frame, as a lot of you guys saw, last week we put in a lower low underneath our previous week low, then ES. Let's see here, let's do this. While ES and YM both failed to put in a lower low, but technically below our previous week low, this is considered in QT terms a monthly cycle bullish SSMT. Now that we have this bullish monthly cycle SSMT, well, this is validating for what we're expecting coming into now our new week. Understanding our first week of our monthly power of 3, I'll pull up our month, just give me a second. As you can see, our first month accumulated. Then we manipulated, and what's always confirmed by the manipulation phase is a, cracking correlation. We put in the monthly cycle cracking correlation on the lows. ESYM failed to run out the previous week's low into Friday. Friday put in a lower low on NQ. So looking at the 3 correlated assets, we now have a desync between all 3, forming the monthly cycle. Expecting higher prices coming into the remainder of the week, we now have to look for signatures of higher prices. But before we look for any signatures of higher prices, we need to put in a, well, prominent cracking correlation for our weekly power of 3. Understanding our week is now in distribution phase. This distribution phase will only be validated by a prominent cracking correlation below the weekly opening price. So in regards to this, our weekly opening price right here, draw that out for you guys. Weekly open. So our weekly open price coming into opening of the day, Asia and London before Q3, we lacked any cracking correlation. So seeing that our previous day low, which would be a weekly cycle SSMT, if obviously the other assets failed to get so, which if you look, we did put in a lower low on NQ and YM, but ES failed to. So my main draw on price coming into morning open was the fact that not only weekly open failed to put any cracking correlation for higher prices, right? Because we can't expand higher unless there's a cracking correlation validating the weekly power 3. We failed to put in a cracking correlation for our weekly power 3 on top of the fact that true day open was technically unmanipulated. Understanding that true day open, what's going to confirm true day open? A cracking correlation. Now, we did not have a prominent cracking correlation below true day open, so this is considered our previous session low. So we have a previous session low on top of the fact that we have previous day low. Both of these were draws on price that I stated coming into possible target against PDL or PSL for today. Understanding that, that was my draws on price. So when I was coming into morning open, well, I'm looking for signatures of the market falling short and targeting these potential point of interest or POI, right? So breaking it down on a higher time frame, we can see utilizing our previous day's range that, well, Friday on NQ failed to get up into a discount, while looking over at ES comes into a premium. Now, YM, on the other hand, actually comes all the way up into an OTE range. So utilizing significant ranges, right, we can also utilize, is the market weak or strong? So these are all signatures in, well, is market going to fall over short, or is it going to keep going higher and higher high, right? Because today, being Monday, for our weekly cycle, it's either going to accumulate or it's going to expand. And it's obviously not going to expand if there's weakness in the market. and there's lack of cracking correlations given the weekly power of 3. So that's exactly what I was looking for, is weakness. NQ failing to get into a premium of our previous day range, that's weakness, on top of the fact that ES gets into a premium, YM comes into OTE. So coming down into today in the morning, what did I see? I saw that we had a 15-minute PSP. So I'll draw it out right here. We had a 15-minute PSP on top of the fact that we had a 1-minute, where are we? We had a 1-minute microcycle at the highs. So we have a 1-minute confirmation on top of the 15-minute confirmation. Draw that in the center. And then all we had was our first presented fair value gap. Excuse me, and that's where I shorted. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And because my stop was 55 handles, I cut that in half. I went in with 5 micros today, which was able to profit me a nice 75 handles. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Understand, guys, I break this down a lot in my trade recaps. You guys have to be breaking it down from what are the higher time frames saying. If we understand that the weekly power of 3 is likely to be bullish for the week, right? We're expecting open, low, high, close development. Why? It's because looking on our bigger time frame scale, we accumulated the first week, we manipulated the next week. Now that we are in the 3rd week of our AMDX monthly cycle, we're likely to distribute higher this week. Stating that we're expecting higher prices, we need to put in the prominent cracking correlation below the weekly opening price to validate these longs. So in regards to today, well, I'm looking for signatures of that. But if there is no signature of this, well, I'm looking for the market to fall over short. Meaning what? I'm looking for weakness. And what was the weakness? Ranges. Understanding our previous day range. NASDAQ failed to get into a premium, ES got into a premium, YM got into OTE of our previous day range, which is also in a premium. So all signs of weakness in the market. What are you doing? You're coming into the lower time frame, you're validating that with some type of confirmation to press the button, which was first presented for a value gap today. And what are we targeting against? We're targeting against our previous session low or our previous day low, as our bias for the day is bearish. Okay, so guys, I hope you guys had a wonderful day trading today. I hope you guys made some money. Obviously, stay to your rules, stay patient, stay disciplined, and of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. But as always, I'll see you guys at the top. Peace out.